All right. So Curtis says, what do you feel is a fair margin percentage brokers should make per load? All right. So you asked my opinion. So I'm going to give you my opinion, right? Not everybody's going to agree with this. Not everybody on this stream is going to agree with this. Not everybody in the market is going to agree with this. So as a broker, I believe, just so you know, most brokers, if you're talking about full truckload freight, we're going to focus in on full truckload, not LTL or partials, because those are different, right? But if you're talking about full truckload, and again, it depends upon the type of equipment, the margin will be determined by the difficulty and the complexity of the movement. But I can tell you that most freight brokers operate on about a 15% gross margin. That means that if you charge a customer $1,000, you're making a gross profit of about $150. Now, the range is typically somewhere between 10 and 20%. You know, we always operated at a higher margin, typically 18, 19, 20% or higher sometimes, depending upon the season, depending upon the mode of transportation, depending upon the size of our business, right? As our business got bigger, the margins went down a little bit. As a smaller brokerage, you have a lot more control. And so I think you should be focusing on 15% minimum margins with a minimum of $100 profit per load. The reason being is because if you focus on trying to chase your tail and move loads where you're making $50 a load, you're not going to make any money. You're going to struggle, right? Because the amount of time it takes to enter the load, to find a carrier, to dispatch the carrier, to deliver it out, to bill it, to collect it, you're losing money by the end of that if you're trying to make money as a broker at $50 a load. So I strongly suggest you make at least $100 a load, focus on about 15%. Each customer is going to be a little bit different. It also is going to depend upon the supply and demand of trucks, seasonality, where we are in the economy. But I think shooting for 15% is more than fair. If you can get a little bit more, great. The more complex and the more difficult the movement is, the higher the dollar margin and the percentage margin will typically be. Now, if you're moving a load, higher the dollar value, sometimes the percentage margin goes down, but the dollar margin will go up. So if you move a $10,000 load, you might not make 15% or $1,500, but you might only make $750. But on a $1,000 load, you'll make $150, but it's 15%. So would you rather have $750 on one load, even though it's lower percentage margin, or would you rather have 15% and have it be $150 on a lower value load? It really depends on your niche, right? That's why a lot of people are attracted to high ticket freight, right? Which is, specialized, heavy haul, over dimensional, long haul, right? So yeah, things that have high touch typically have a higher price to them. Good question though. Thank you, Curtis. Good question. I hope that helped. Hey, if you enjoyed this Freight Broker Q&A, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and don't forget to click the little bell to ensure that you get notified every time I release a new video. And if you have questions, make sure you add them in the comments below, and who knows, maybe I'll use one of your questions on a future Freight Broker Q&A.